All you fans of Indiana Jones can attest, the biblical relic known as the Ark of the Covenant has been the obsession of fortune seekers and worshipers alike since the days of Moses. The holy artifact said to hold the original 10 commandments. But there's no consensus as to where it might be or even if it exists. The mysteries has inspired a centuries-long treasure hunt, and ABC's global affairs anchor Christiane Amanpour takes us in search of the lost Ark.
Whispers from the past hang in the air of modern-day Jerusalem. Yet no matter how hard you listen, the truth behind so many of these biblical stories that took place here remains so captivatingly elusive. In part because so many answers may be buried underneath what today is a living, breathing city. Anat Shimoni Cohen is a biblical scholar and a tour guide. She took us to one of the only places where archaeologists, pilgrims and tourists are allowed to explore below this storied city. It's notoriously difficult to dig under the old city of Jerusalem.
It's very difficult because it's very sensitive. We are talking about holy places of the three main monotheistic religions.
It's so politically charged.
It's so politically charged.
Discovered by accident in the 19th century when an archaeologist was walking his dog, this massive network of caves and tunnels is known as Solomon's Quarries.
King Solomon is the
founding father
of
the Freemasons.
Of the Freemasons.
The reminders of Solomon, his temple and its destruction seem to seep from these walls.
The name of this corner is Zedekiah's Tears.
The tears of the king.
Yeah, the tears of the king.
Why is he crying?
Well, this was the end of the first temple period.
Tears for the destruction of the temple.
Yes.
It was under Zedekiah's rule that Jerusalem fell to the Babylonians. The temple was destroyed, and the Ark of the Covenant went missing from both history and the pages of the Bible.
The 10th century BC is the last time anybody actually really sees it, according to the biblical tradition. Now, there are other stories that maybe somebody spirited the Ark out of the city just ahead of the destruction.
Many believe these underground tunnels were used to secretly transport the Ark out of Jerusalem. And when the Babylonian troops took inventory of the treasures they had plundered, something was missing.
When the Babylonians took all the treasures from Jerusalem, it was not in the list anymore.
The Ark?
Yes, the Ark was not in the list.
There are all kinds of possibilities as to where it ended up.
One famous story suggests the Ark was taken from Jerusalem to Egypt hundreds of years before the Babylonian siege began.
That's where Indiana Jones goes and looks for it. We're told that Shishak of the Bible, an Egyptian pharaoh, that he may have attacked Jerusalem just after the time of Solomon. And there is one theory that he took away the Ark of the Covenant.
He may have taken the Ark back to the city of Tanis.
It's possible the Ark was brought to Egypt by Shishak, but the evidence is underwhelming, and archaeologists believe it's no more likely to be buried in the sands of Tanis than locked away in a government warehouse. Back in the caves below Jerusalem, we encounter another possibility, that as Jerusalem fell to the Babylonians, the Ark was not taken away, but was instead hidden away in this underground labyrinth. People trying to be detectives, are they trying to uncover something?
Well, some people prefer to leave it as it is. And some people I know that still look and wants to find the Ark of the Covenant.
Today, the idea of the Ark transcends time and faith. Like so many of the biblical stories, it inspires the simple yet universal search for meaning. I'm Christiane Amanpour for Nightline in Jerusalem.
Thanks, Christiane. You can see much more on Back to the Beginning with Christiane Amanpour tomorrow night at 9 p.m. here on ABC.